I'd like to welcome you to this week's report. Today is Thursday, November 30th, I believe, and weather is kind of crappy today everywhere. Looked like it was going to rain all day, but never did. I think we had a little bit of rain last night, but not much. It's been a little bit breezy here in Long Beach, but overall, you know, the weather looks not so great tomorrow, Friday, anywhere. It's going to be windy, northwest wind, I think clearing after where this little system is we're having here. And pretty strong in the outer islands, Channel Islands, Clemente, places like that. So weather comes down tomorrow night, and it looks decent Saturday. But if you're planning a longer run to any of the islands, keep in mind that it's going to get quite a bit of wind on Friday. So come Saturday, it might still have a lot of residual chop and slop left over from all that wind. Weather looks even better on Sunday, and of the 2 days to fish, I would definitely pick Sunday because not only is the weather better, but it'll have another day for that water to settle down. And hopefully it doesn't roll too much. Might affect the surface temp in some of the heavier hit areas where the wind blew, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot to the stuff on the beach. You know, there really hasn't been anybody out fishing tuna lately since last weekend, so we don't know what it did to that. But definitely going to be a factor here, but Saturday and Sunday both look good, Sunday being the better of the 2 days. So, yeah, a little update on my knee. Everything's going good. Driving again, walking around normally, getting around just fine. Actually, going to go to my other office tomorrow for a few hours. Going a little crazy here at the house. Getting my staples out tomorrow. Don't think I'm going to fish this weekend, but hopefully by the following weekend I'll be back on the boat. May just do a bay trip or something like that just to get out of the house. It's a little bit going stir crazy here, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can imagine if you're people who like to keep busy. But anyway, let's head up to the Channel Islands. You know, we had a full moon on Monday, and I know the Mirage went out and looking to see if they could find a sea bass or halibut out there. They did find some nice halibut. Didn't hear about any sea bass being caught up there. I don't know where they were. I'm imagining Rosa, usually where they go this time of year. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, the sea bass, you're better off in the winter into the spring and summer for shots on that full moon. But, you know, it's always worth a chance. They had some good rock fishing as well, which is pretty much the norm up there. Boats fishing Santa Cruz Island did well. They had a lot of swell they were dealing with this week. I saw some video from the Aloha Spirit. It looked pretty gnarly. And but they've been doing their same thing, you know, fishing shallow for sheephead and stuff like that. And they go out and load up a nice big cod later in the day. So that bite up there has really been stable. So that's if you want to go out and have a good shot at doing something predictable, I wouldn't hesitate to do that. The bass are still biting on the beach up there. I saw the Coral Sea had another local trip, 3/4 day trip. They had some nice calicos and sand bass. You know, you can see they're catching them on swim baits and hookup baits and things like that. So these are actively feeding fish. It's not like they're fishing a squid on a lead head or something like they do down here. So, you know, coastal guy, I'm sorry, if you're a bass guy and you're looking for somewhere to go and do something different, maybe launch out of Santa Barbara this weekend and take a look up and down the beach there. Fish don't really mind the cold water up that way, so it might be a good option. Heading down to, I'm going to stay on the coast. You know, down in the Santa Monica Bay, the 3/4 day boats out of, and half-day boats, charter boats for that matter, out of Delray and Redondo are really doing a lot of structured bass fishing. They're catching sand bass, calicos, sculpin, stuff like that. That's that standard leadhead and squid stuff. It's going on pretty much day and night. The bite is, I saw that the boys from Taddy went out Redondo the other day and had good fishing. And then the other night, my friend, the legend Steve Phelps, went on, I think, the New Del Mar for their twilight trip, and they had some nice bass, nice sculpin. That's a fun thing to do if you're a sport boat guy. Good time of year to do it. Nighttime trips are fun because it's usually not windy this time of year. A lot of times you associate twilight trips during the summer with wind. This time of year, not so much. If you like fishing at night, I really don't. But you know, I don't really do that type of fishing at all anymore. But if I were going to do it, I think I'd probably go out during the day. But you know, it's something you can do after work. If you work during the week, get out on a trip and catch some fish. Yeah, you know, the sport boats down here are doing similar stuff out of Newport and Long Beach and Dana Point, fishing sand bass. We're getting some sheephead, calicos, sculpin, all that stuff. That's all leadhead and squid stuff. they're fishing, you know, places like Newport Pipe or Isers Reef, things like that. I don't know where they fish out of Dana. I'm sure they have some deep water structure they like there. And, you know, it's decent fishing. It's not wide open. It's something to do. Private boater is fishing the beach. Benny Florentino, he's been fishing down in Huntington Beach a lot. He's been, you know, good sand bass, calicos, a few sheephead, stuff like that in the mix. Nothing to write home about, but, you know, nice fun fishing. He's just fishing shallow water rocks and stuff like that in that zone. My friend Steve Guardia fished PV on Saturday, I think it was, and said it was slow, no conditions anywhere. So he said the water looked good, just no current, which is pretty typical. And you know that you know, so if I haven't told you guys this before, I'm telling you now. If there's a full moon and you want to fish bass at PV, you need to be there at dawn and you need to be there very late in the afternoon because there is nothing in between there. It just always sucks. And Steve was able to, you know, salvage his day. He ran down the beach and caught a bunch of sand bass, fishing the A-rig with Reyes swim baits, and he said those fish were up biting pretty good in shallow water, 30 feet of water, stuff like that. So he said the water temp held up, 64 degrees where he was. So that's it's good to see. Hopefully it's after this little stormy, or wasn't much on the beach, so I imagine the coastal water temp's going to hold steady. But yeah, you know, and again, with the full moon, we can head out to Clemente. You know, my friends Gary Reyes and Jay Jones and Mike Stammeridge, they went back out there for, I think, the second week in a row, or the second out of 3 weeks. And they had nice weather, so they stayed late, and I guess it paid to stay late because a tough day most of the day, and then really good fishing to end the day. And they had the same experience with that big swell out there. Made it kind of sketchy to get into a few spots. But they, as usual, they loaded up on big calicos, and they're fishing differently than I do. You know, they're using that, you know, that, what do you call it, like that swinging lead head thing. I know Warbaits makes them, and also Viking heads. It's I can never think of the name of it. It's a lead head. It's got just a split ring, and you attach like a worm hook, extra wide gap hook to it. It keeps a very weedless presentation on your bait, and it gets your bait down into the deeper zones where those calicos are biting. I'd much rather catch them on the surface with a slug or a weedless swim bait, but you know, that's why a lot of times I guess I strike out when other guys don't. But they're fishing both Reyes and Pearl swim baits. It must be weird to have a couple of different bait makers on the boat together because I'm sure there's some competition there as to who's getting a bit better. But yeah, they had good fishing, and you know, it's due to that full moon again. You know, it's for whatever reason on the full moon, I don't know if it's because fish feed at night or it's bright during the night and it messes up their feeding schedule, but with all calico bass, it seems like first thing in the morning, it's good. I mean, like early. You're not even going to get to Clemente in time early, unless you leave in the dark, and then late in the day. So you guys that want to fish calicos during a full moon, I would definitely plan to launch later or stay out later. And I don't stay out later, so I'd probably launch at, you know, noon or 1 o'clock if I was going to fish local for them. But yeah, they had good fishing, good weather. You know, I don't think Saturday's gonna be that nice out there. Sunday is a better day. It's a long way to go, but hopefully the swell lays down out there. Yeah, you know, going into Catalina, I haven't heard a ton of stuff. I know that my friend Vaughn Podmore has been running his guide trips over there for fly fishermen and catching bonito on the front side. And that's about it. The only other friend I had, he went out over the weekend, was Brandon Volgamot. He fished for halibut and sea bass and stuff like that. And I don't know if he told me he caught halibut. I think they were short. I don't think he didn't get a sea bass, or maybe he got, I don't remember exactly. But he did get some nice big reds, which is pretty cool. I'm glad he got those. And so, you know, that's one of the nice things about having this deeper water open at this time of year now, is even in a spot like Catalina, if you strike out on what you're trying to catch, there's better quality fish that you can catch by going out to that really deep water. Whereas in the past, when you could only fish up to 360 feet, most of the stuff you were catching was really smaller, or species you didn't want. So I'm glad to see that. Yeah, you know, the few boats that fished over the weekend, last weekend caught some tuna. I think they're out of Tanner and Cortez, and that's up below Clemente as well. It's been over a week, and I didn't really get that close to an idea of it when it first happened. I just kind of peripherally heard about it. Haven't heard anything since. I can guarantee you that those areas will be unfishable on Saturday. for sport boats. I mean, even, you know, it's blowing hard enough out there that if you're going to go to Cortez or something, it's maybe Sunday, I don't know. Or maybe they'll prove me wrong, go out there and load up. But usually after storms this late in the year, right after a full moon, I wouldn't really like my tuna prospects all that much. But if you're already on a trip, go out and have fun, see what happens. If you're on the fence about going, I'd hold off for another day or go catch some cod somewhere. Or just save the money and buy some tackle or something. But yeah, that's about it for this week. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving last week, and look forward to getting out fishing again soon myself. And I hope you guys have a good weekend, and good luck if you fish.